7 months pregnant, I carried groceries up 3 flights of stairs while my husband, glued to his video game, barely acknowledged me. When he finally spoke, it was to call me disgusting and demand I lose weight after the baby. His friends even laughed. That was the moment I realized I couldn't stay. I packed my bags, left in the dead of night, and started over. But leaving him wasn't easy, and the battle for my freedom had only just begun. It started with an innocuous moment, one of those little things I should have brushed off. But the more I think about it, the more it feels like the beginning of something I should have seen coming a long time ago. It was a typical Saturday morning. I had spent all week running around, making sure everything was in order, getting ready for our baby's arrival, working my full-time job, and making dinner every night. I just hit my third trimester, and I could feel the exhaustion setting in. It wasn't supposed to be like this. When I met Liam, everything seemed perfect. We met through a mutual friend at a party. He was charming, charismatic, the life of the room. I was immediately drawn to him. He had that quiet confidence, the one that made you feel like he could take on the world and win. He made me laugh, and soon enough, we were inseparable. We had dreams of starting a family together, of building a life we were both proud of. We were both working professionals, young but stable, and everything felt like it was on the up and up. But somewhere between my morning sickness and his late nights with his friends, things started to shift. At first, I told myself it was just the pressure of the pregnancy. Maybe he was nervous about becoming a father. But as the months wore on, the signs of his indifference grew. It was subtle at first. He'd promised to help out around the house, but then his nights would be spent playing video games or binge watching his favorite shows while I struggled to get through my day. His calls to me were mostly for the mundane. Can you grab the laundry? Where's my favorite shirt? And when I asked for help, the responses ranged from condescending to outright dismissive. At 7 months pregnant, I thought things would get better. But instead, they got worse. I had just finished work that Friday evening, and I stopped by the grocery store on the way home. Liam had promised to help with the bags, but of course, when I walked in, he was sprawled on the couch, headphones on, eyes glued to the screen of his game console. I let out a deep sigh as I dragged in the heavy bags of groceries, knowing full well that he wouldn't even offer to help. It wasn't the first time. He'd been getting more distant, more irritated with every little thing I asked of him. But this time, as I stumbled up the stairs to our second-floor apartment, sweat dripping down my back and the weight of the bags pulling at my arms, something inside of me snapped. I finally set the last of the bags down on the kitchen counter and looked at him, expecting, at the very least, an apology or maybe an offer to help. Instead, I got something I wasn't prepared for. "Jesus, you're getting huge," he said, not even looking away from his screen. "You better lose that weight after the baby. I can't keep up with this. It's disgusting." The words hit me like a slap to the face. I didn't know what to say. My hands were shaking. My heart was pounding. I looked at him, and for the first time in 5 years, I didn't recognize the man I had fallen in love with. This wasn't the person I thought I'd be starting a family with. This wasn't the man I had been so proud to marry. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. Instead, I walked over to him, leaned down, and kissed his forehead, like I always did when I was trying to calm myself. But this time, I pulled back and looked him in the eyes. "I need to shower," I said quietly, my voice barely above a whisper. He nodded absently, not even realizing that I was walking away, not realizing that he had just crossed a line he'd never be able to come back from. I stood under the hot water,